Lillian Isabella here. I'm here with Aedan. He's a fellow PKU'er and fellow New Yorker. And we are here at
Georgia PKU's Camp Connect.
There we go. So Aedan.
Yeah.
How do you feel about having PKU?
Oh, I actually like it. I'm one of those guys who likes to be different. So having an excuse to sort of be different from the pack and to eat differently and to be socially a little bit different when it comes to requirements to eat healthy on a PKU diet, it's actually benefited me. And yeah.
Did you ever feel that people were reacting to you because you're different? And what kind of way did they react? And then how did you handle it?
So yeah, a lot of people would ask questions. Like say in middle school, high school, or elementary school, you'd bring your own lunch and it'd be all these foods that no one's ever heard of, whether it's low protein food or just, obscure fruits and vegetables that not a lot of people eat. And yeah, so they'd ask us, and you sort of just have to practice your line of saying, oh, I have a genetic disorder where my enzymes can't metabolize a main amino acid and protein called phenylalanine, and then you'll get a whole array of questions right after that. So you just got to know how to handle it,
Yeah, I found that to be true too, that knowing the science behind it is super, super helpful.
Yeah.
And I would often have a little monologue prepared.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely.
So what advice would you give to parents of people with PKU, or maybe kids, or just people our age with PKU who might be struggling or not feel very comfortable explaining to other people about it?
Okay, so starting with parents. With parents, I guess, be patient. And one useful tip would be, so say before your child goes into high school, maybe once they're in freshman year of high school, have them be completely independent with their diet. Like they choose what they eat. They choose, obviously, low protein. They choose what they eat. They make their own milks or shakes, and they are able to prepare their low protein meals, because once they go to college, they're going to be completely independent. And so you'd rather have them make their mistakes in high school and learn from them before you're away from your parents and away from their help in college. So parents, that's I guess my advice there. That's what my mom did with me, and she's a nurse, so I was very lucky, and she helped me a lot with that. And so when I went in college, I actually picked a college with a really good cafeteria, great salad bar.
Very smart.
So yeah, absolutely.
That's key. Whenever I travel, also a little side note, I always try and pick a place that has a kitchen, because then I know I'll be in control of what I'm eating, and I can cook and all that kind of thing.
Yeah. And I guess for young PKU'ers, just drinking your formula is key. Especially if you're an athlete, I'm sure your nutritionist or dietitian will tell you to bump up your formula intake. And one thing my mom taught me is always have your formula first. I drink 2 formulas a day, 144 grams in each, in the morning for breakfast and at dinner. And lunch, I usually just do like a fruit, veggie, and low carb rice.
You work out a lot, right?
I do manual labor a lot, and I exercise. Yeah. I don't lift in the gym as much, but
you look like you're an athlete.
Yeah. So I played soccer in high school, and obviously that demands a lot in your body, especially cardiovascular wise.
Yeah.
And I actually learned that so I'd eat a lot of bananas and apples, and maybe like low protein pasta right before I play, because that gives you your carbs.
Bananas, potassium.
And it's like the perfect food for athletic performance. And then so after you do whatever sport you're doing, the best thing to do is to drink a milk or a formula immediately after.
Or your shake, whatever you call it.
You call it, because that gives you all your amino acids that you can break down. So that gives you your protein equivalent, and obviously you need that for your muscles.
Yeah.
And then it gives you all the other vitamins and nutrients that is already in the formula.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that after exercise it's good to drink shake.
It is, yeah.
But it makes sense.
Yeah. When you think about it, it's exactly what those athletes buy at GNC and those weightlifters. It's just a protein shake, but it's just missing one key ingredient, phenylalanine. So
yeah, and it's got what that breaks down into, just tyrosine and a couple other things.
Exactly. Yeah, it breaks down the tyrosine, which then turns into dopamine, which sort of lightens our moods and is better for our behavior and cognitive abilities. Yeah.
So if you've never been to a summer camp before for PKU, this is my first time. It's so fun. It's really amazing to have all people that are around your age who have the same shake you do. I just found it to be a really great experience. And what was your first experience at a camp, and when did you start going to summer camp for PKU?
My first camp was last year at Georgia PKU's Camp Connect, and it was just amazing, life-changing. I mean, I had just got so many connections, PKU connections from here, where I used it with getting jobs and, you know, doing traveling.
So you said all PKU boys are total mama's boys.
Yeah, yeah.
Tell me more about that. I've never heard that before.
Until this day. Well, that's suggesting that the mom does most of the work when it comes to the PKU diet, but that's how I was.
Yeah.
My mom's a nurse practitioner, and my dad he couldn't even name you what my formula is called. That's a joke, but so my mom really just took care of everything, and she was like, all right, Kevin, I got this. I'll take care of it. And then and so you just because when you think about it, they control your life and your diet until you're however old, you know, middle school, and so you really do rely on them, and you just you know, you understand, okay, this is my caregiver, and
I'm very grateful to them. They literally give you your sanity, like ensure that happens.
Yeah. So thank your parents, because they control how your mentality is when you're growing up, and that's especially when you're real young, because that's when your brain is most sensitive. So
what do you want to do, like professionally? What are your interests or aspirations?
So professionally, I've actually done construction my whole life because I love the outdoors and I love to exercise and get a good sweat. But I got a degree in communications. I'm going to go to a master's program next year and get a master's in social work in New York City.
That's great.
So, and hopefully work with families and kids with genetic disorders just like PKU.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I know you were telling me that you went to Australia.
I did, yeah.
Do you know,
under.
Down.
Yeah.
What tips can you give for people with PKU who want to travel? What are some good things to keep in mind?
So I guess first thing is research, see what your options are. Australia is, you know, sort of across the planet from New York, at least. That's where I'm from, and they offer coverage. So they don't have my formula there, so I had to bring it, phenol-free too. Definitely do your research and figure out. Go to the grocery store, do a little, you know, research in the grocery once you're there, and see what options. I mean, obviously they have fruits and veggies. And you know, simple carbohydrates, which is a little bit low in protein. So, but definitely call up a hospital, talk to the genetics department, and figure out from there how to get a hold of any low protein foods or how to get your formula or whatever formula you need. So
doing research, being proactive, finding a clinic. That's probably good in case
you have But do your research first, just so you're not there like, okay, so what do I do now?
So, I'm noticing your shirt says "Own It."
It does.
Why does it say "Own It"? What's that about?
So it says PKU, own it. And I guess it's sort of a simple philosophy that this camp embraces, where sort of, you know, if you have PKU, it is what it is, and the best way to deal with it is just to own it, to embrace it. And from there, you'll be able to have a healthy outlook on it and be able to sort of conquer all the life goals that, you know, one has while, you know, your journey through life. And especially when it comes to being on diet, having low fees, low blood levels. And I guess it's sort of a good, you know, it's a good philosophy for younger kids to see and to sort of look up to. It's like, oh, okay, I'll own it. And just,
Yeah, that's actually something I like to keep in mind, that the diet is just one part of my life, but it does not define who I am. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to be as successful as I can be and as ambitious as I want to be, and the diet just enables you to live whatever life you want to live.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point. Don't let PKU define you. Definitely love that it is a huge part of your life, and that
of course
you gain a lot of discipline and determination that, you know, a lot of other people that are non-PKU'ers don't have. Because we sort of have to, okay, from day one, you're completely different. You have to go on this strict diet with all these rules. And so because of that, you can become more determined. You just have, I feel like, better character. And
hopefully.
Hopefully. That hasn't hit me yet, so I'm still waiting. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
I have no worries.
It's fun.
Thank you for having me.